Testing. So today I want to look at, well, there's a lot of things I want to do. But one of the things I want to look at was the client server stuff in TLAX. And in particular, I want to have a look at, if I'm on, let me just check. Just doing, yeah. So, yeah, what I want to look at is I want to have a quick look at this map. This this TL server IO to see how much work it would be to turn this. This is a sort of experiment I did. I want to see how much work it would be to turn it into a sort of official feature. I can't remember how far I got because I did this quite a while ago. I will also have to republish the to just fix this error here. So basically, yeah, it's very complicated to explain, but TLAX specialized TLAX database, TL term, specialized lexicography terminology, and general data editing software applications. And we already support multi-user in a few different ways. So one of them is ODBC, relational database server like Postgre, where you set up your data in a relational database server, and each client can access it by setting up the ODBC data source or driver. Now I've got an experimental different way of doing this entirely, which basically the idea is it listens on a HTTP port and accept connections from clients, put logging in and non-trivial. You know, the send request to server. I don't think I got very far with it, but I can't remember how far I got with it. Okay, client interface, HTTP client. So we have a server, and we have a client interface, generic, and then we have a client interface, HTTP client curl, which connects to the server and just allows us to send requests to the server and wait for a response. Okay. And things like load the dictionary. So basically, I want to do something like as follows. I want to I want it to be a simple client. It's basically, say they have their database, their dictionary, and sorry, I just need to do something behind the scenes here. Wow, that's really basic. That receives a file as a binary blob. I wonder, it's not wrong, but it's not right. So I want, this idea is I want, the client to basically be able to say, press a button, so open their database, right, and then set up their users, and then I want them to be able to say like start server, right, boom, click a button, and the thing should run in server mode, listening, waiting for clients to connect, and then client should be able to connect and log in and edit. So the client would be a totally separate copy, listening on a TCP/IP socket, and so the client would be on a different computer somewhere, or just totally separate instance, and say open connect to server. Whatever. Damn it, I thought I could say unzip started zip. Why can't I just say unzip started zip? Linux command line. Hello. Do I have to say Vorps? Unzip. I guess there's a number of different ways to look at this thing. I mean, it's an I/O, but should the server be a dedicated I/O thing, or should it just be a generic thing, like some sort of JSON RPC interface? And the I/O just makes calls into JSON RPC, or something like that. Then clients don't have to be TLSs. That's already how the server works. The server, and we've already got. So then why not just use the existing server? I guess what I want then really is a layer between this and the existing server. But it's a little more complicated than that because we want to make an I/O. So we need maybe I wonder. Maybe the I/O should have capabilities and we just don't implement everything. Like we can, let's say for now we don't edit the DTD. No DTD editing through the client, for example. You can get a list of entries. You can say load entry, save entry, obviously authentication. log in. I'm such and such user. Edit, save, cross references, searches, filters. All that stuff should work. I think we need a new concept called capabilities, maybe. And the IO has capabilities, and one of the capabilities can be edit DTD. And if the IO doesn't have a DTD edit capability, then we don't allow the user to edit the DTD or do anything that involves DTD editing. I guess. This thing is not, it's really non-trivial. This is a lot of work. Then we also need some way to poll for updates. Clients must sit and either, not necessarily poll even. They need a way, like if somebody saves an entry, then all the others need to be told. Then we also need a check-in, check-out system, so we need a way for locking entries that somebody's working on. And we also need the centralized ID allocation of allocating unique IDs to work correctly. Yeah, we're probably looking at about a week's work, I guess. A day to get the basics working. Proof of concept, basic functionality. Maybe less, because the framework's already in place. I've already done some work on it. Then, yeah, another day to get more basic functionality working, and a few more days refining and adding more advanced functionality. And testing it. Testing. Maintenance probably could be up to 2 weeks of work. To really commit to having this as a feature. I thought it would be simple and quick. Why is it not simple and quick? I'm missing something. Yeah, I don't know if I can quite justify the amount of time this requires. It would be fun to work on, but it would be quite complex to maintain. You know, you need an advanced programmer to maintain this. It should be part of the core server functionality. It should just be a wrapper layer to the... Isn't it already? Maybe it's already just a wrapper there to be regular server. Method, request info response. Okay. The server request handler, and this is a multi-threaded thing. That's the other thing that is a little bit non-trivial, is that this is multi-threading. But I've already done most of the work for that. So that's, you know, well, let's say half the work. This multi-threaded document access. I've done a whole readers writers lock, standard readers writers lock system. I don't know what that is in Google. Readers writers lock. Oh, readers writer, sorry. One writer, multiple readers. So that, yeah, this is a standard readers writer lock implementation for multi-threaded access. Because the thing is, yeah, like if you just edit your document locally, boom, it's one thread. No worries about threads. But if you have 10, 20 clients connecting and they're all editing in parallel, they're all connecting on their own thread, basically. So the whole document architecture needs to support threading. And the best way to do that I've already implemented, not completely, but the you know, it needs more work. But a readers writer lock, readers writer. So there's a system for, you know, basically the principle of readers writer lock is if nobody's writing to the document, then it's safe for multiple clients to read it in parallel. Like if nothing is editing the document, then it's safe for readers to read. So 10 people can read entries at once. You know, if you've got 10 cores, it'll just, you know, it'll utilize those cores and it'll be very efficient. But if the document needs to be modified, then you need to lock out the readers, basically. But that happens much more rarely, so the efficiency issue of doing that is offset. So you lock, if you make a change, you save the change very quickly, and then you unlock the writer lock. So if there's readers, the writer lock will wait till all the readers are finished, because a writer obviously will also wait. If a writer lock is busy and you reverse the write lock, it will also wait. If the read locks also wait until the write lock is busy, but a read lock will never wait for another read lock unless, you know, unless the write lock is held. You know, if only a read, you know, read locks don't wait for each other. So that's that implementation I already basically did. I think I streamed that. I think that was one of the earlier things I did, streaming wise. Around October, I think I saw there, October 2000. Yep. Yeah, October 2016. So that's those streams are on live coding, in my live edu, live coding archive. The implementation of the readers writer stuff, I think. The Lua stuff may also complicate things a little. Not sure. Okay, so we have a server request handler IO, which inherits from server request handler, which I think is just a very generic thing. And the virtual handler request, yeah, abstract. Okay. So this HTTP listen, this class that creates HTTP listen ports and spawns a thread every time client connects. And that thread, so each client gets a dedicated thread to process their request. So the thing that's a little unclear to me is basically how this relates to the... I wrote it, I'm not saying it's unclear because I'm trying to figure out unknown code. What I mean is, in terms of what the correct design should be, and my memory is a bit fuzzy, yeah. My memory, I keep it. So the IO server request handler just has, its own request handlers that are... So I think that's fine, I guess. The IO request handler should be a very thin layer. So if we were to draw a little diagram, I think we're going to have something like this. Right, so, oops, what's going on? How did we get into dissolve mode? I didn't do that. Okay, so these are clients. And each client connects to the server. It gets a instance of there's just one server, and the /IO is just a specialized handler. Yeah, because, alright, so yeah, basically we start the normal server, and how this works is the normal server, there's an architecture of handlers that you can associate to URLs. So you open your document and you say start server, and we can actually do that. Let's do that. But it's but let's take something smaller, just a simple sample database. Okay, boom, and we say tools start server. Boom. Okay, and you don't see anything happening, but what's actually happening is it starts a server in the background, listening on localhost port. I don't remember what port. Let's check 99 or something like that. Yeah, port 99. It's odd. Should be configurable. Right, so we go http://localhost port 99. Boom. Right. But now there's different handlers for different URLs. Oops, that isn't right. Crap. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, it's a little bit better. Let's restart that. Why did that happen? Why did that crash? That's a good question. I'm going to run it in debugger now to see. Port 99/IO. So normally, yeah. Oh, I know why it's crashing. Yeah, I know why it's crashing. The lib library is US 2010. So yeah, like all the thing it's linking to CDC, C runtimes, and then mode and all. That's possible. according to this unzip documentation, you can pass it a wildcard. So why is it not working for me? I'm saying unzip started zip. I got a folder full of zips, and it's giving some odd error. But it says maybe a wildcard. But if the shell's expanding it, then how do we get the wildcard in? Or I must just use 4, but I'm not sure. I can't remember the syntax for it. Started zip. Something like 4FN. That sort of stuff irritates me. I'm wasting time. Okay, I mean, it's not difficult to do. I just, it's just I must go look up the correct syntax each time because who remembers the exact syntax? Okay, probably some people. But still, 4FN started zip. Do echo. That's not even an answer. That's useless. Done. Okay. And it is an answer, so don't know. There we go. Unzip. So I just no, just asking stupid questions. Yes, no, or I have to control C like 1,000 times. There's a lot, there's actually like 1,000. There's over 1,000. Control C is not working. It's just wasting my time, man. Fuck, that's the right password. No, already, this is. I don't have time for this. What's happening is I entered the right password, but there's some sort of caps lock inversion problem. I turn caps lock off, I look down and it's on again. Yeah, there's a caps lock inversion bug. Damn it. This input director is not synchronizing the caps lock state properly. man for if in started zip do. Okay, let me say unzip, then ask, are you sure? Unzip minus q minus qq or if in started zip do unzip minus qq dollar f. It's still asking. About files without prompting minus O. I have to log in again. Because Control C is useless. Okay. So you can't see what I'm doing. I'm doing it off screen because it's on a different computer. Anyway, right this second. Or actually I can just do Control R. Control R in Bash. Control R and you start typing the recent command. Minus O. That's not working right either. Shit, but man. Why is it extracting it all to the wrong file name now? You've got to be kidding me, man. Commands.sql. Okay. Let's try something else. Control R for if started zip to unzip minus $a and cat commands.sql to catted. I don't know if that's going to work. I'm trying to concatenate a bunch of SQL commands that are in 1,000 different zip files. Why am I doing this? Because I need to fix this error. So I need to republish this whole dictionary, which I did last night, but I forgot one thing that didn't work. Why? Because I used the wrong. I need to use double angle. Concatenate this double angle bracket. There we go. Now we've got a. That's not going to work. Is it? I don't know. I've got a SQL file that's 570 megs, 560 megs. What are the odds it's going to work? I don't know. I somehow doubt that's going to work. 570 minutes. It's going to probably give a timeout. I wonder if my SQL command line might work. This is wasting my time. This is really wasting my time. How difficult can it be to say? Really, this is something an AI could do. Really, I have a database dump and I want to load it into a certain database on the server. How difficult can it be for an AI to do this? I should be able to say, load that database dump file onto that server, into that database. So I need a newer Cocker. Okay, this library is just a library I used for the HTTP. Twenty 2017 is VS 2015. Build VS 2015. Build Win. So can I just run that and it'll all just be happy after it. X6. We'll trade both entity samples. The first thing I should probably do is, yeah, I don't know actually. Let's close this. Copy 10. Visual Studio Command. I'm gonna just run the build command thingy and hope for the best. What are the odds that that's going to work? Okay, hold. Here's 150. Oh, I should have probably set the open SSH path first. Open SSL on it. We have open SSL. Yeah, open SSL. I should probably have set that to my setup. I think it'll just be smart enough to figure itself out. Okay. Now let's do its thing. We'll get a. Oh. Sorry, I'm not ready enough to sleep or anything. That's the time for more coffee. I'm 18. That database is not loading. Damn it. Let's try my SQL command line. I do import dump file. I mean, it's quite straightforward. It's not complicated. It's just time consuming and I have other things I need to do. Article minus U minus P. Okay. Let's just check what the username and password should be. So long. I mean, it's pretty long passwords. That was right, and now it doesn't work. Jesus, this is one of those days where nothing works. Man, okay. I've typed it in twice now. The caps lock is not inverted this time. Oh, I typed the username wrong, that's why I didn't know. Okay. My fault. Okay, my SQL is importing something. Hallelujah. It's probably going to take a while if it works, because it's 560 megabytes file. It's a very big dictionary. The dictionary that I'm importing now, the thing I keep moaning about that is in the background. I need to. There's about 129. We recently this dictionary was updated. Wordbook. This is Wordbook.co today. It's a big historical Afrikaans dictionary. It's massive. They use TLEX, but if you look behind me, literally, that big pile of volumes. This is a massive multi-volume dictionary, and they're big volumes. The full thing is like, I don't know, a meter wide if you put all the volumes next to each other. So that's a stack of lots. The Woordeboek van die Afrikaans taal, the big Afrikaans dictionary. So the database itself is quite large that they edit on in TLEX. It's about 500 meg of data. So the physical database is like, I mean, it's not huge as databases go, but it's not small either. So everything you you do is inherently slow. Anyway, so I have to re-update this thing to fix this. About 129 entries have little red question marks. Anyway, so I'm just fixing that. That means I have to republish the whole thing. And this should normally be easy. But I forgot to tick one checkbox last night. When I started it, it was supposed to run overnight. But I forgot to tick one of the settings I needed to tick. So when I checked in this morning, it wasn't done. And normally it's easy. Like normally, I could probably just wait. I don't need to be doing this. I'm wasting time. I should just, but it basically has to run overnight because it takes so long. Because there's a lot of processing that it has to do, and the internet's slow and all that. So it basically has to run overnight. But I must either wait until I go to bed and start it again, or do this, which is the workaround, the bypass way of doing it. And that's what I'm doing now because I want to see it fixed. But I guess I thought it would be quick. I thought it would just be copy the zip files, unzip, run the thing. But no, nothing is working properly. Anyway, it seems to be on its way now. Let's see how this Poco build is doing. Poco, set of C++ libraries. And I used it, why? Because it had some, I didn't feel like doing full-on low-level sockets coding for listening on HTTP ports, and it has helper classes for that, so I used it. I wonder if it's safe for me to open my project while it's building. The whole include thing might get confused. It shouldn't, because this only looks at includes, I think. Yeah. Right, so so the whole architecture is basically, it's actually quite cool. Like you can allocate for different URLs I've made this system where I can map URLs, kind of like in Apache, where you can map a URL to a different handler that serves requests. So on the same server, you can have completely different things running. This is a JSON RPC server, but there's also just a normal web interface, and then there's the special IO, and it's all just a special handlers. So the normal TL server, and that's used for the, if you look at my live edu banner, live edu TV, or my Twitch banner, live edu banner. If you look at my live edu banner or Twitch banner, there's a diagram somewhere. Can't remember where it is now. And I think it'll be a good idea to dig up this diagram because I want to reference it and use it later. I need to expand on it. Maybe it would be, I think it'd be under, under miscellaneous. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, so this thing here, there's no PC. perhaps one of these handler, method map handler. So we just handle JSON RPC. So we have a special TL term server running that listens. It has a Telix Online API server, and that is this thing. And it listens for requests currently from Apache PHP client for Telix Online clients like ibrtb.tlterm.com. So basically how this works, so if I go to this website, right, ibrtb.tlterm.com, in my web browser, and I want to search the terminology. So here I am in this part of the diagram. I am the Telix Online web browser client, HTML5/CSS, and I type a search query. Okay, there's a cloud, how cheesy. It's cloud. Anyway, anyway, it is cloud really. Anyway, but okay. So we search for a word, accounting, or I don't know what it's accounting anyway here. Then it sends a request to the PHP web server, which is listening, a regular PHP web server, which then forwards that request to a TL term server instance, which is this thing, the Telix Online API server, which then has a method map handler, so it says call method, blah 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 blah, to do a search, which calls this handle request, which looks up its method table, and does calls them, the basic method map handler if there is one for the requested function like search or login or authenticate, and send results to client, sends the results back to the web server, which sends the results back to the web browser client, and there they are. Okay, and that's actually very cool. And what's cool about it is because there's a TL term server running, the clients can also connect in the usual way through ODBC, because the database backend is still a relational database. So you can still use ODBC to connect to the same database and edit. So the edits the users make in TL term are immediately reflected as they save to the website. And what's also cool about it is if you log in, can't remember my password. Just tell me that wasn't right. I hope that wasn't right. No, it didn't work. I don't know my password anymore. I'll just look it up. I can probably log in as admin. Right, yeah, let me sign in as. I think I know the admin password. Yeah, I'm logged in as admin now. Right. So if we now I must be careful now. I'm on the live database, so I mustn't stuff around here. But I can actually edit. So you can actually we can actually say edit. If we logged in, if we have the requisite privileges, and make changes to the live database, and that works through this whole setup. Boom. My edit request in the browser client. If I submit the form, PHP will pass it on to Telix Online API server, and if it's successful, it will save a change to the ODBC back into the database backend. Anyway, this is important to understand now. What I think we should do now, because I want to create a new sort of IO. When I mean IO, I'll explain that later. I don't know if I want to do this today, but it'll be a fun thing to do in a weekend or 2 weekends. Right. The basically, I want to make it possible, effectively, to do all this, but without having to set up a receipt for a client. Basically, I want the client to just be able to sort of press a button and have their server running and have their colleagues in the office or whatever connected. There's a few different ways to do that. One is you could create a thin special layer that's effectively a tunnel, effectively a SQL over or ODBC over HTTP tunnel. If we are controlling the server, and then still use ODBC in the backdrop. That seems like a lot of work, just so that clients don't have to set up one ODBC driver. I don't know if that's worthwhile. I wonder if somebody else had library or something. There are things like this, but I looked into them before and they didn't. There were problems. Yeah, she's accessing databases, SQL databases via HTTP there, definitely. Stuff like SQL with HTTP. Sure, you need something running on the server. Let's go. Any C++ is not there. First, zero is an input, also data says blah blah blah. What is this? This is not an HTTP to IDC breach. The channel sequels. Oh, okay, goodbye. That's what I'm looking for. That's funny. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That's really weird. And they have their what it is not. Proxy SQL. What's this? Okay, in the meantime, the Poco build completed. That is good news. I'll have a look now if it works without crashing. And I want to make coffee. Turn this off. What was that? But this looks specific to my circle. I need something that's more of a general. I think I've tried this before long ago. I don't think it worked. Something is wrong. But it might be um, that doesn't exactly help me. Mm. No, 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 no. Okay, I can see that that build failed. I'm gonna look in 1 second why it failed. What's going on there? Cannot open thread pool rate. Oh, come on. Does that mean we must download Poco complete? Or is this just due to... changes in the API between VS 2010 and this old version that I used 2 years ago? I'm not sure. I'm going to download the, just do a quick download of the full version and see if that's got thread pool direction. Otherwise it might be some API change. If it's API change, that would be a nuisance. Then I must either download an older version or I'll have to refactor the code to work with the new version. This table is irritating me. What am I going to call? Poco, yeah, Poco download. So, basically I'm busy having a look at the client server code, just to recap what we're busy on with. Looking at our architecture diagram, this one, as reference. So this stuff is sitting in C++, right? So our client server for this architecture is this C++ code here. I'm just trying to fix a compile issue. Downloads all. So Poco VS 2010. What the hell is all this stuff doing in the base folder? Compared to... Well, let's just see. Okay. Let's see if there is something about threads in here, even. I'll get back to the programming in a second. So basically, the HTTP libraries that I used, just Poco Net library, had worked on Visual Studio 2010. I had it working on Visual Studio 2010, but I'm now upgrading. I'm busy working on VS 2017 on this machine. So, okay, that looks better. So I'm gonna have to rebuild this whole Poco with the full. I'm gonna have to build this Poco library again. Damn it. So yeah, so the one I had built, third party, Poco more, and that pocket all becomes this pocket. Now the question is, do I fill the win that's in do I fill in my OpenSSL folder, or do I just do it? Let me fill it in. I think. Mind you, there's no header there. Yeah, I know this is going to be a hassle. OpenSSL include to, I mean, what's going on there? That's weird. OpenSSL lib. OpenSSL support might be useful. It might be necessary, in fact. So let's try to get it working. It's not immediately necessary. Or is it? Maybe. OpenSSL, are you kidding me? Nothing in our source code references OpenSSL. SSL. Pragma. Aha, it does. Okay. Let's just try this, see if it works. That does not look like. I don't know what's going on here, but. I don't know. It's gonna work. I have a feeling it's not gonna work. Let's try it. Build VS150, which is 15 to 2015 is 2017 is version 15. Okay. That's probably going to take a while. So while it's busy, I should do something else constructive. Okay, the uploads worked seemingly for this class. Okay, so I want to see if this fits work. And yes, it seems to have worked. The reference isn't working, but yeah, I know why that is. The for results. The results should be identical in theory. Yeah, looks identical. But only that small fix should be fixed. Yeah, no, this looks good. This looks good. There's another that big one behind me again. I'm just big dictionary there behind me. The online version. That's my name for you. Boom. Cat church. Okay. Trying to remember what was one of the new entries. Oh yes, I forgot something. Oops. Yeah, so basically, Poker HTTP server listens on a port. This will have to make configurable. That's easy enough. Set up a. Why is all this in red? Should I be worried? Should I be worried? Sonic source transact. Just deleted VS folder. I might get confused. It like caches headers and all that. I don't know. Private information and yeah. Yeah, so basically you set up a HTTP server instance. Pocket request handler factory. So the request handler factory is called to allocate request handlers for URLs. or your sub-URL request. Okay, and you need to support a reverse handler, which is a HTTP reverse handler, which calls our handler request, which calls server handler request, which goes through the list of registered handlers, and this could probably be sped up, but it's not going to be a bottleneck for until he's having like thousands of queries per second. Then maybe start looking at, but that's not going to be happening anytime soon. At that point we'll probably have bigger problems. Yeah, so it looks for a match and it defines a match called handle request, and that match I'm talking about is like there earlier where I had those like JSON RPC. Why is that not? Those maps. Yeah, this stuff. Okay. So these are the handles basically. So that's how it works, and it spawns a new thread for to service a client. So each client that connects gets a new thread. Boom. And I don't know exactly. Yeah, okay. So server request handler does not make my handler for the main stuff. That's for this architecture. There's that diagram. So like this site uses that architecture, ORTB terminology site. Right, so our web browser client calls methods on the Apache server, which connects to the JSON RPC. Boom. And those requests are serviced. Yeah. Okay. And it's basically we have registered methods and callbacks attached to those method names, and send result to client. It's quite generic, and I can pass in parameters, and then the parameters are passed in via JSON RPC. Not JSON RPC, I mean they're like JSON parameters that are converted into just generic boost property tree. And the method map function, there's another function that actually does things like do search or search. Yeah. So somewhere, yeah, we go. So this maps method names, JSON RPC method names, search. I don't know if it's all correct. Probably not perfectly according to spec, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah, so that's the callback, setting up the callback map. Somewhere, no, this isn't right. Somewhere else, oh yeah, I think this is just a small wrapper. Yeah, so the JSON RPC interface is a wrapper layer that basically does glue for each function. Because you've got a C++ method that must be called, it has its own arbitrary parameters, but the parameters are coming in a generic way as a boost, as JSON, which gets converted to a boost property tree. So we need a little bit of glue somewhere, and that's this. There's some small sort of glue functions. Glue, I don't like that word, but it's, yeah, it still does the trick. So that's the real function, okay? It's long and it does a lot of stuff. But there's a small, somewhere, Where the hell is that? Ah, yeah. Just a small function, wrapper function that takes the boost property tree, converts it to C++ parameters, and does one or two other small things in this case. And does things like check that you're correctly authorized, I think. Yeah, to do searches and stuff. And calls the search. I think no, the auth check is done in the. It just passes the auth information in, and the auth check is done in the function itself. So that calls the actual function. TLX server. Now this TLX server search, I don't know if that makes sense. That should become something more generic. So all these functions, for what I want to do today is kind of different to this but related to this. So all the functions that have been implemented here are those that are necessary and work for this website, like this OERTB, this type of website. We can create new entries, we can search, and we can do edit entries, a few other things. But browse. Yeah. Browse. This is 11 languages, 11 language database. It's quite complex. Not complex isn't the right word, but yeah, dense. So what I'm looking at today is I want ways to see if there's ways I can replace, instead of using ODBC for the editing for the clients, maybe also let them connect to the API server and have all our requests go through the API, through the TLX Online API server. But still they have this as a possibility. But this could be an alternative possibility. Basically, a sort of a, yeah, that's how it's done. It's not so easy though. The one option is obvious, and that's what I was trying to research. There's the possibility of using some kind of SQL over HTTP tunnel, but it's complicated. I don't like that if it is for a few reasons. In a way, it's probably more correct than doing your own whole big custom thing. But having your own custom thing is very powerful. Basically, if you open an ODBC server now in TLTerm, so if the same database that we connect to here through the web browser as a web browser client, we can also just open TLTerm, and that's what's happening here, and use it as a client application that connects through ODBC as a desktop user. And it's very powerful. We get a lot of functionality. So I can remember the T. I don't know. How do I get it? Hold on, I'm gonna look at how to just get in here. OTB underscore TLTerm. No, OTB underscore TLTerm. I don't know what the parameter is. I think it's T. I mean the data too. But yeah, so we can connect to that same database either through the web browser or through the if you enter the right password. So we can either access that same database through the web browser client, as we can there, or through tell terms a client is going to take a little while, take a few minutes to display those. And that's nice, it works fine, but yeah, I mean it works nicely, but no buts, it works fine, there's nothing wrong with it. There's two things wrong with it. Not wrong, but it would be more user-friendly for many of our clients. Clients who don't have in-house, if you've got a technical guy who can set up an AWC driver, then it's easy. Hello, technical guy. Please set up my AWC driver and point it to that database. But now imagine you're a small little company who doesn't have that kind of expertise in-house, which describes most small companies. But you want to set up a little terminology server. So it's more user-friendly if I can get rid of that in a way. Not get rid of it, but put it behind the scenes. The main reason I want to do this is because it seems like a fun thing to program. It would be really powerful, but I don't know if it's really worth spending the time on, and it will make the code more complex. It'll make it really powerful, but not just for terminology, for all sorts of data you'll be able to. But oh, I just built so slow. Look at that. Something wrong. Either eating a low CPU, yes, Firefox. And this VirtualBox is using low CPU. OBS also uses low CPU, but I mean this is a really fast machine. Shouldn't really feel that. Maybe. Oh, that's what's happening. Damn it! How can that happen? Just wasn't doing anything. Just stuck because I pressed something. Oh, or the output was stuck. I don't know. And maybe it was working. Anyway. I'm tired. This is a bit some complex stuff to get into on a what should be a relatively restful weekend. On the one hand, I feel, yeah, like my head is back in the stuff, so I'll be able to do it now. On the other hand, it's going to take but it's a little vague in my head and a bit confusing still. There's a distinct difference. No, I closed Firefox. I'm not opening it again. The that's too many tabs. I need to make another small change picture.